Yo, what is going on, guys and girls? My name is Wolfyds, and welcome to Total War Warhammer. It's a good game. That is the best I can say. No, Total War Warhammer is a very great game. It is fairly different to the other Total Wars in the sense not just that it's a fantasy rather than historic, but that each faction has a, or maybe more than one, unique mechanic compared to the other factions on the campaign and even in the battle. So yeah, for this campaign I am going to be playing as Bretonnia,
Champion of the
because I do really like Bretonnia.
Does war visit fair Bretonnia this day? It is no longer enough for the dukes to sit idle. It is time for the flower of Bretonnia to unfurl and reveal its thorns. I come to his court with a wealth of knowledge that will aid this errantry war. Like the Grail companions of old, the dukedoms of Bretonnia will unite under the banner of their king. Let their enemies feel lance tip and blessed sword. Now is the age of chivalry and greatness. Now is the age of blood and battle.
Yeah, so that is the cinematic intro for the Bretonnians. Yeah, the Bretonnian faction is great. I love the Pegasuses, or Pegasi. I don't know how. I think it's Pegasi because it's Greek. I'm guessing. But yeah, I must admit this game does look absolutely incredible. The graphics are amazing. The detail is just insane. And the fact that you have flying creatures in Total War, I thought that was amazing when I saw this game come out. And this is actually one of the very few games that I bought as it came out. In fact, I pre-ordered Total War Warhammer because I thought it just looked absolutely incredible. We have another cinematic
to you,
intro.
Benevolent Royak. Blessed is your rule over Bretonnia. Yet darkness spreads from abroad and threatens your kingdom. The threat is real. It must be faced. To the east, the greedy merchant princes of Marienburg conspire to consolidate their riches. Observe that much wealth flows into Marienburg, but very little emerges. Further south, in the Grey Mountains, greenskins and dwarfs vie for control of the peaks. Whoever wins may yet cause trouble for you, my lord. Beyond, the wood elves in their mysterious forest protect their homes. Whilst at the coast, the Duke of Bordello is as unpredictable as the roiling sea, and as secretive as the watery depths. Elsewhere, the unliving lords of Musilon wage war against mortal men. The bickering dukedoms ignore the looming threat, and so it falls to you to act, my liege. Only a united Bretonnia can face these growing perils. Raise your banner, King Leoncoeur, and drive this evil from the world in the lady's blessed name.
So yeah, that's
My lord, the
oh,
Dukes
got
of
more.
Bretonnia have resided under a chivalrous code
Right.
for men.
I know how to play. Sort of. I've already done a campaign like this in my own time, and I must say the playing as a Bretonnian faction is relatively difficult compared to playing as other factions. And I just want to talk you through the game mechanics that are unique to the Bretonnians. We're going to start with peasant economy. God, I can't even pronounce it. So yeah, peasant economy, as long as your forces, as long as that stays under 10 or under basically, you won't have any negative effects. If it goes over, you'll have negative effects. Now, what affects this is your troops. So, at the moment, I can hire 10 peasant troops, 10 peasant units. And the peasant units are all infantry, and all infantry are peasant units, and the same with archers, which is fairly annoying because it means your armies, if you want a decent sized army or a big sized army, it is going to be cav heavy. But I must say the cavalry for the Bretonnian factions are really good, and yeah, it's definitely interesting to play as Bretonnians compared to other factions. And I must say they do look amazing, especially with the Pegasus Knights. They are insane. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this actually. Should probably do with building. Yeah. Okay, so let's build some. Just building some buildings there. Just got what we got on the way. A rally field just so we can recruit some more variety of soldiers. Clay pit. Alright, technologies. I'm gonna go for this one because it just improves your growth, and growth is pretty essential early on in the campaign. Right, who are we at war with? Let's check our diplomacy tag.
Relations with foreign powers may be...
Yes. Right, so currently we are at war with Scaling to the north, Marienburg, and the Skull Smashers to the east. That shouldn't be too bad actually. But Lyonese or Lyonese or Lyonesse, I don't know. Let's get a trade agreement with these. And same with Artois here. Ooh, hang on, they're liking this. Right, non-aggression pact and trade agreement with them. Empire, let's see if we can get a trade agreement with the Empire. Oh, they've accepted it. Oh, and there's a chance for a defensive alliance, but they won't take that just yet. Hopefully that will change, because I do like being allies with the Empire rather than enemies, because they do have some good artillery. I say that, and I start off being enemies with Marienburg, which is an Empire faction. Okay, and the next game mechanic I sort of forgot to mention is chivalry. Now, chivalry, it has certain effects, as you can see: reduction in vampiric and chaos corruption, which is spread by vampires and beastmen or chaos. And yeah, it has a bunch of other buffs. And so basically, if you get your chaos chivalry, so what is it? I'm not entirely sure. I think it's to 200 and above. You are able to spawn the legendary knight or green knight, which is pretty cool. And I've never been able to do it because getting your chivalry, increasing your chivalry is a lot harder than it is than decreasing your chivalry. For example, your characters will gain traits, which unfortunately decreases your chivalry, and it's very hard to stop your characters from getting these traits. And I don't know why I moved him here there. That was a bad idea. So yeah, there's not much we could do for this turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and end the turn here. Oh, wait, I can still issue a commandment. Alright. That one should do, hopefully. And we shall see what the other factions are getting up to. Not much, it seems. Oh god, Musilon. I don't like them, I must admit. In my last campaign, I had many wars with them, but nothing really happened. Right. Oh, bloody hell. Greenskins, I hate greenskins. If you wonder what greenskins are, they are orcs. And they are a pretty big pain. If you wonder what, I just realised, probably a lot of you aren't going to know what these factions are. They're not factions. I mean, there are factions within races, and you have a lot of different races. So we are Bretonnians, that is our race. The Empire, they're based off medieval Germany, sort of late German, I think. I'm not entirely sure. And here you have the undead or vampires, Musilon. There's you also have the vampire counts and many other factions. And yeah, they're just vampires, and they have zombies and everything. They have some pretty good lords, which is a shame. Yeah, we don't have a lot of income at the moment, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we're just there's not much we could do on this turn either. So we're just going to end it there as well. Unfortunately, a lot early on in the campaign, you will be ending your turns without much happening. But later on, as your empire, whatever you want to call it, expands, things do get a lot more interesting. Yay, we've had a population surplus. And it's only on a 1. Ooh, we can upgrade that again. Now I must admit, look, this campaign map is amazing. Look, you have the Pegasus flying around. The details on this campaign map is insane. Unfortunately, you can't see much over here because of the fog of war. You can see a little bit. But it's fairly dark because we have no eyes there, so we can't actually see what's going on. That's a shame. But look, if you just look at the detail around here and just look at those spirits or souls or whatever that is, just like flying away from the castle, it's amazing. It's not even a castle, it's just a settlement. Also in this game you have magic, and magic is known as the Winds of Power, and here you can see a bit of the Winds of Power here just floating around there and here, and yeah, so that's pretty cool. But also, as I was saying, the details, you can just see flies flying around the place over a green skimmed settlement. If you just look at the Bretonnian castles, they are fairly amazing. I don't think there's much we can do this turn. Oh god, what am I doing? Alright, diplomacy. See if we can get a defensive line with one of these guys. No, I'm not too happy about that.
The laws of chivalry demand.
Okay, let's see how the Empire are doing.
Hail to Leoncourt. How can the Empire aid you in such evil?
Nice, so we are actually fairly good relations with the Empire, which is good. Which is why I like starting as Bretonnia. It's fairly difficult because you don't really want to go to war with any of the other Bretonnian factions, because that would just take your chivalry right down. But what you can do is, after researching the correct technologies over here, is you can get them, hopefully persuade them to join you, so create a confederation so you take over their lands and some of their armies. But you have to be careful doing this because it will affect your economy. It can have a drastic effect on your economy and your peasant economy, depending on how well they have managed to balance out their faction. So yeah, again, we're just going to have to end turn. Ugh, it's going to be a lot of this to begin with, but hopefully later we'll be getting some battles in. Which is what I like to do. I like, as the Bretonnians, I like to sort of lay back, be a bit defensive. And when the time comes, start creating confederations and start taking land. I do hope to take this settlement here, the Skull Smasher settlement, but it will take time, unfortunately, because I do not have the resources or the troops to take it, I believe. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be a difficult settlement to take, and Marienburg, yeah, that's going to be a pain. So yeah, we haven't got much to do. Again, this is painful. And this is what I was saying about really easy to develop bad traits, because if you don't move your armies, if your armies aren't being active, then you will be getting some bad traits and you will lose chivalry, which is an absolute pain. But like I said, as the campaign moves on, you'll be fighting more battles and you'll be gaining more chivalry, and there is nothing happening. I'm tempted to just let a rebellion happen, and a rebellion is going to happen, because I don't have much control over this region. But I must admit, when a rebellion happens, it is a lot more fun because, well, things are actually happening. So yeah, let's just end the turn again, see how things go. This is going to be fun. Yeah, Total War games, they are amazing games, but they're a lot more fun to play than they are to watch, I must admit. But it is interesting to see the different tactics people use, because it is, at the end of the day, it is a strategy game, and it is a bloody good strategy game. The best, in my opinion, but then again, that is my opinion, and it can be a fairly biased opinion. Oh god, this is taking ages. I'm going to research that next time. Definitely. Just because that way we can... I just sort of want to get the confederations going, just so we get some more land, so it makes things a bit harder, and the campaign gets a bit more interesting. So yeah, let's just gonna see how things go. Not many events have happened, but as the campaign goes along, many events will happen. You'll have the Warherds coming in, the Beastmen Warherds. They are like half men, half beasts, so like Minotaurs and everything. And they can do a lot of damage if you're not careful when fighting them. But one lucky thing about playing as Bretonnia is not a lot. They don't tend to be cav heavy. They tend to have some dire wolves, but they can be taken out by cavalry easily. But also their infantry don't tend to carry spears, so that means your cavalry can do a significant amount of damage to them. But you don't really want to be putting your infantry up against them, because they will absolutely demolish them, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. Yeah, nothing much going on.
The lady shines bright overall.
This is a pain. Why isn't anything happening? We need things happening. Yeah, let's just end the turn here again. Jeez. Hopefully something will happen soon. Yay, we have a population surplus. So that means we can upgrade our settlements. That means the settlements are growing. We have more people, which is great. Absolutely great. And the games are beginning. Ooh, yay, and we have more control.
I have seen your heart.
So yeah, a rebellion isn't going to be happening anytime soon, which is a bit of a shame. What settlement am I going to want to upgrade? Let's upgrade this one, because it is a small settlement, and it is nice to upgrade the small settlements sometimes. They have better defenses then, and yeah. Nothing else is going to happen. Why? Right, let's see if we can get some sort of alliance.
From Sigma.
Maybe not with the Empire. Having an alliance with the Empire would be extremely useful. But yeah, apart from that, nothing much is really happening. Bordelot. Let's see if we can get some sort of relations with them. But they don't want trade. That's a shame, because trading is extremely useful. And yeah, nothing seems to be happening, so let's just end the turn. You never know, one of these Greenskin armies or Marienburg armies might just decide to march on us randomly, which they do sometimes. And I must say the AI in this is fairly good. I remember I was at war.
A rival power desires
Oh.
a change in your mutual relation.
This is good. They want a defensive alliance and they're willing to pay for it. That is great. Nothing better than that, to be honest. I prefer a defensive alliance to a military alliance sometimes, just because if it's a military alliance, when your allies attack someone, you have to attack them too. Whereas if it's a defensive alliance, you only have to attack your allies' enemies if it was their enemies that declared war on them, and not your allies declaring war on their enemies. So, so basically, having a defensive alliance can be a lot better. But also, if you have a military alliance, when you are the person declaring war, then your allies will hopefully automatically join. Otherwise, if you do have a defensive alliance, you may have to request that they join the war, and they may refuse. But yeah, again, not much is happening. Right, Artois, we have good relations with them,
Welcome to fair Bretonnia.
and they will
Now
take
is
a
the
defensive
time to
alliance as well. That is good. Maybe they'll take military access. Oh, we are getting all the agreements right here. Military alliance. No, they rejected me. I got rejected.
Welcome
Damn.
to fair Bretonnia.
These guys go for a military alliance. No, but they will grant me military access. Maybe. No. Jeez. Okay. Bordelot. Will they allow me to trade? Yes. And I have trade. That is good. That means more money. More money is always a good thing, unless you already have a lot of money, and we have a lot of money. But in this game, more money is good. Always. Always good. It means you can pay for things. You can bribe enemies, or allies, or just pretty much anyone. Maybe, depending on how much they like you or hate you.
Not one step further, stranger. You do not walk my lands without my blessing, which you don't have.
I also like the diplomacy things. They're opting for peace. Might as well, because there's no point being at war with them. I'm not gonna do anything. It's really weird, because I'm at war, but I'm not doing anything. Because there's nothing to do. I'm sort of just playing it on the defensive, because one thing the greenskins can do is they can take the underway, so they could actually, rather than having to go round, they could just simply use tunnels to go through the mountains and end up here. So if I was to send my army here, they could attack Kuron without warning, or with warning, but very little warning. I mean, it is well defended, so that shouldn't be a problem. But if they have a fairly big army, shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I should recruit some units. No, I don't want to recruit units yet. I wanna be able to recruit some decent units rather than just the crappy starter units. So that's one thing when you're playing on defensive, you're going to want to recruit the better units, just because you're not trying to field massive armies, you're just staying on the defensive, getting your economy going, so you will be able to field massive armies eventually, but you're going to preferably want to wait until you get the better units. Oh, war declared between Carcassonne and the Broken Nose. Broken Nose is another green skin. The Wood Elves reside around here. Is it here? It's somewhere. Ah, here. Somewhere. But yeah, the Wood Elf faction is pretty amazing. But yeah, nothing much has happened. But yeah, I'm going to end the episode here because it is dragging on a bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. You can also follow me on Twitter at Wolfyds. So yeah, ciao for now.